Hey there. Thank you so much for joining me here today. There have been some things on my mind lately that I thought I would chat a little bit about. I woke up the other morning feeling a little bit bogged down by life, by my current circumstances, and I went for a swim that morning. And on the way to the beach, I stopped at this little cafe that I usually go to, and it all started there when I was walking towards it and I saw the line forming outside, and there was this man at the back of the line, and he was maybe in his, I'd say, early 60s possibly. And he was holding one of those cartons that you would get if you maybe ordered 2 coffees, so that you can hold it and both the coffees are in there. And he was holding that while he was standing in line, and I figured he must have gotten that last time and he brought it with him now so that they wouldn't give him another one. And I just thought that was so sweet. And then I was at the beach after that, and it started to rain. So I was sitting in my car drinking my coffee, and I saw this elderly man running into the ocean for a swim. He was charging, and he jumped in the ocean and he jumped out, and he looked so invigorated, and he had this big bottle of fresh water that he poured over him, and he just looked ecstatic. And I get goosebumps right now. It just made my heart smile so much. And then there was this elderly couple that was walking on the promenade holding hands, and they just looked so in love. And then there was this guy, I'd say this youngish guy. He was walking on the beach with his headphones on, holding his shoes, and he was just letting off a very nostalgic kind of vibe. And he was standing looking out at the ocean with his headphones on, and the water was just washing over his feet, and he was wearing long pants, and his pants were getting absolutely soaked, but he was just standing there. And I was thinking, damn, that guy must be going through something. But it was just, like watching all of these people do all their own little people things, each having their own little individual human experience, all experiencing their own individual karmas and lives. It just made me really realize in that moment that, wow, I take my emotions and my life so seriously sometimes. And it is not that deep. It is not that deep, And just watching all of those people experience all their own individual experiences just made me feel so much less alone and so much less involved in my own so-called problems, And in my previous journal, I think I've been plowing through journals lately. I've been writing a lot, but in the journal I had a couple of months ago, I wrote at one point that I need to really practice being less involved and attached to my life and more of an observer from an outward perspective. And when I wrote this down, after that I went back to it every day as a daily reminder, and it was really good to remind myself of that. But when I had that realization, it all just made so much sense to me that, wow, none of this is real. This is all just an experience, and I'm just experiencing it, you know. At any moment I can just take a step back and remind myself, whoa, okay, this isn't that serious, this is all just an experience. Let's not get too involved, let's not get too attached to certain circumstances, certain outcomes. Let's just watch it from over here for a little bit. And when I realize that, and when I remember that, it all makes so much sense and it all seems so clear. But then in other moments when life can feel like life, when things happen, it can be very difficult to remember that in times of distress, I suppose, to say, oh, whoa, hey, like this isn't real, let me just like observe it from over here, you know. In certain moments it can be difficult to remember that, but in general I think that it is such an important reminder just to not get as involved in our little lives as we do. I suppose I can only talk for myself. Let me not use words like we, because I can only talk for I, but something I've been reminding myself of often is to not get so involved, you know. And there have been certain events that have transpired as of late that have very much tested this belief system that I am currently attempting to convey. But alas, it is a practice and a never-ending journey of trial and error, I suppose. Alan Watts has this talk which is just mind-blowingly good. And he says in this talk, he goes, let's suppose that every night you could dream any dream that you wanted to dream. And then he goes on to say that if you could do that, if you could every night dream, let's say 75 years of time in one night's sleep, or any amount of time that you choose, you would dream this life of 75 years in a night, and it would be great. There would be no problems. Everything would be going right. And if you could dream that same dream every night, you'd say, hey, this is pretty cool. This is nice. But after a while of dreaming that same dream of 75 years of time in a night, every night, you would eventually get to a point where you would say, okay, this is cool, but what if we throw a few challenges in there? What if we throw this obstacle or this challenge so that I can experience it, you know? And he said after a while of dreaming different dreams of 75 years of time and changing it each time so that you can experience this obstacle that you want to experience and this challenge, you would eventually get to the dream where you are now. You would eventually get to the life that you're living now. And he articulates it 1,000 times better than I ever could. But the talk is called Dream, I think. And I highly recommend it because it's incredible. I will link it down below if I can find it. You know, and to realize that this life and these experiences and these happenings are exactly what my soul is meant to be experiencing. This is exactly the karma and the experiences and the challenges that I am meant to be facing in order for my soul's ultimate highest good and potential and growth in this lifetime. And to constantly remember that there's no point questioning the way things are, because if things were meant to be different, they would be. I'm a strong believer of that. To just trust, because I think getting so involved in the happenings of our lives and questioning the way things are just brings a lot of unnecessary distress and anguish. And I've heard someone else say before, I'm not sure exactly who it is, but I've heard this concept of imagining every day that you've died and you have come back to this day to experience this day again. And the other day, a week or so ago, I was swimming in the ocean in the morning. It was the most perfect morning. It was sunny, the ocean was calm and still, there were no waves, it was like a pond. And I was swimming and really embodying this belief of, wow, like I've died, or let's just imagine that I've died and I've come back to experience this day, this exact moment, and the turquoise water was pouring through my fingers and I was watching it pour through my fingers and just swimming in the ocean and really just imagining like, I've died but I came back to experience this all over again. Like, I know that may sound a little bit delusional, but it so changes the way that I show up to my days, that I interact with people, that I experience each moment, and it and it really invites a lot more presence into the day and the moment. And so every morning, or most mornings since then, when I wake up, I try to remind myself, let's imagine that I've died and I've come back to this very day to experience this day again. Give it a try one day and just see how it works for you. It's a pretty interesting idea. And yeah, that day that I was at the beach, sitting in my car, watching all these people, doing all the little people things, I was literally crying. It brought tears to my eyes, just witnessing other humans just go about their little human experiences. And it literally brought tears to my eyes, and I had this realization in that moment that I am so grateful to be wired in such a way that I feel things so deeply, because that has always been something that I have despised about myself, that I have wished that I could change about myself, feeling things so deeply, because it's always proven to be a challenge for me and make things a lot more difficult and unpleasant, I suppose. And sometimes I just wish that, like, I wish I didn't cry when I look at something or when I think about something, you know. But that day, feeling the depth of, I don't even have the words to describe what I felt that day, but watching all of these people, that feeling that I felt that brought me to tears, just really made me realize, wow, I'm so grateful to feel things so deeply, and why would I want to change that about myself if that's the way that I'm wired? That's the way that I'm meant to be, and it's pretty cool to feel things deeply. So, yeah, I don't know. And I think when it comes to experiencing good in life, for the majority of my life, I've dealt with such deep deep depression that for a lot of my life I kind of always figured that this is how it will always be. This is just how life is for me. This is how things are. You know, I'm not worthy of experiencing joy and experiencing beautiful moments in life. And I think getting to the point, which was the turning point for me, was realizing when I do feel such indescribable joy, when I have fun in life, when I do things that make me happy, when I share beautiful moments with beautiful people, to remind myself, like, I am so deserving of this. I am so worthy of this joy and this love that I feel. To feel love for and with other people, I'm worthy of that. To be loved, I am worthy of that. To feel such ecstasy in some moments where the joy is just so vast, I'm worthy of that. I'm worthy of good, incredible, amazing experiences. And I think to know that and to really, really believe that is so important. And that's what brings about more. When you really, really realize, wow, this good, these amazing experiences, I'm so worthy of this, and I welcome even more of this. And, you know, for me, recently, with the events that have transpired in my life as of late, which were pretty unexpected. I feel like I had such a clear vision this year of exactly how my life was going to turn out and exactly where I was headed with my life. And very recently, it just so happened that all of those ideas were just crushed, and everything kind of took a huge turn, and there was a whole conundrum of experiences and things that happened that made me realize, wow, that is not where my life is headed at all. And it was such a mind-blowing realization. And since then, I feel like a part of me to make the whole dealings with that a little bit easier for myself, I've been constantly embodying this delirious excitement for my future. Just constantly saying to myself, I'm so excited for what the future has to hold for me. I'm so excited about where I'm headed. I'm so excited about this unpredictable beauty that lies ahead. And I feel like I've been, for most of it, trying to constantly embody this excitement about the future so as to not really deal with the pain, I suppose, of the experiences, you know. And wow, I'm getting off track, but what I'm trying to say is it's okay and it's all right to be excited about the future. But I've realized recently that as excited as I am about the things that are to come and the experiences that I'm yet to experience and the people that I'm yet to meet and love, I am so grateful to be here in this present moment right now. Because as much as I'd rather be feeling excited about the future than agonizing over the past, filling my present with so much excitement about the future is somewhat disrupting my present moment. And I think just feeling excited, but really remembering that I'm here right now and allowing the beautiful, expansive opportunities for my future to just flow in and out of the present, and to just stay right here and be content right here. I think that is the trick, and that is what I'm practicing these days. And something that I've been doing a lot recently is, in each moment where I remember, I've been saying to myself, how can I make this moment as beautiful as possible? How can I enjoy this moment tenfold? And it can be such a small thing. It could be, let me make myself a cup of tea right now. Let me light a candle right now. Let me right now stop what I'm doing, turn on some really great vibey music and dance in the middle of the kitchen, and just constantly trying to make each moment as beautiful as possible has been a really nice practice for me. And I realize in saying that could possibly be misinterpreted as wanting to control the moment and not allowing the moment to be as it is. That's not at all the intention with it. It's rather just saying that I'm a little soul experiencing this human experience, and I'm an enjoyer of life, and I want to enjoy all my days and all of my moments as much as I possibly can. And that's not to say that I'm not allowing the pain and the anguish at times of also the human experience to come and be felt. But a little while back, I made a vow to myself that I am going to make a beautiful, beautiful life for myself, no matter what it takes. And I get goosebumps thinking about it. I've really been doing everything that I can to live up to that promise every single day. Been showing up for myself in every way that I can, because that's what I want to do. I want to make this life beautiful for myself, and it's a practice. And in one of Joe Dispenza's talks, which is also equally sensational as the Alan Watts one that I referenced previously, and he talks about the importance of gratitude. Feeling gratitude for what you have now in order to manifest what you want. It is okay, and you are allowed to want things for yourself in the future, to want certain things for your life. It doesn't make you a bad person or ungrateful to say, hey, this is pretty cool, but I want this job, for instance, or I want this in my future, or I want to experience that. It is okay to want things, and it is okay to work towards things, but the most important part of all of that, and the art of manifesting, cannot unfold without practicing gratitude for what you have now, and saying, I am so grateful for what I have now. I'm so grateful for absolutely everything in my life. And I know that I am worthy of wanting more, and I know that I'm worthy of this and this and that which you wish to manifest. And another thing that he says, which is so true, is that we can get very attached at times to the things or circumstances or outcomes that we wish to unfold for us, that we don't leave room for better. Because we can say, this is what I want for myself, and that is what I want to unfold, and if that doesn't happen, I'm going to be hurt and I'm not going to like the outcome. But he says that the trick is to trust that ultimately whatever ends up unfolding for you is for your highest good, is what's meant to be for you. And it's possibly greater than your human mind can possibly even comprehend. So to say, wow, this is the vision I have for my future, this is what I want, and this is what I'm working towards, universe. But ultimately, I trust that whatever ends up unfolding is what is best and is what's best for my highest good. So feeling into that and feeling into gratitude as often as you can possibly remember. What I've been doing consistently is every night when I get into bed, before I read my book or listen to something, watch something, gratitude about what went well in that day, even what didn't go well, anything that you feel gratitude for, about that day that you just experienced, or gratitude in general, gratitude for what you're feeling now, gratitude for what you have in your life. And in the morning when you wake up, before you get out of bed, to think of what you're grateful for in that moment. And gratitude is one of the most high vibrational frequencies, and that's how we can invite even more magic and miracles to be grateful for in our lives as well. And I mean, to be so grateful and in awe of the everyday mundanities, like to be able to smell incredible smells, to be able to see things with your eyes, to be able to taste amazing food, to hear sounds, to listen to music, to be able to touch things and be touched, to be so grateful for experiencing what it is to be human. That is really the baseline of what I'm trying to practice for my human experience at the moment. And it really invites a lot more presence into my days, and it's a never-ending journey, you know. This human experience is weird. Sometimes it can be so brutally painful, and sometimes it can be so insanely beautiful and joyous, and it's a never-ending dance between the two and all of the other ones in between. Yeah. I feel like that was a very all over the place ramble. But those are just some things that have been on my mind. And if you happened to make it this far to hear me saying these words, I'm so grateful that you felt the need to listen to what I had to say. Or not the need, but that you wanted to. So thank you. And thank you for being you and existing, and thank you. I'm sending all of my love to you, and I really, really look forward to seeing you in another one soon. Have a beautiful rest of your day or night. Thank you.